Greetings, I am Metatron Magnetic Forces and Magnetic Services, and I greet you today in the love of the Divine Love Element. Today is the start of an important month in your calendar terms of time. That signifies the coming of the final push for thought's dark elements and rising of the divine love element in your planet. Thought has trapped many of the energies that try to trap many of your souls on your planet in the fists of darkness and preventing them to achieve eternal light and merging with the divine love element. The universal love child has been able to create more light in the planet, thereby many of the star souls will be able to free themselves from the grasp of the darkness of thought. Despite all the events that took place on your planet during the past month, whether it be good or bad, all were lessons and pathway into the coming divine love element, of which many of your souls are going to be a part of as you are reaching this point of separation that will occur in April 11th, 2021, between the darker energies of thought and the light universes of the divine love element. You will see more and more souls on your planet becoming separated into two parts, the dark soul groups that need to learn lessons of unity and love, and the divine love element souls that have already learned the lessons of the divine love and unity. This separation will begin to arise from the month of April, which starts from tomorrow. This month is also an important month for all the so-called light grid programmers and the people of light, because it was an important day in which one master divine light grid programmer, a wandering soul of divine light, came to earth to teach the lessons of divine light. And he had to go through a troubling period at that time due to the darkness of thought's darker universes, which had influence on many souls at that time period. This Master Divine Light, great programmer, is known to your kinds as Jesus of Nazareth, who taught many lessons that your kind needs to learn now at this present time space of the divine light element. Thought's dark elemental entities are being shrouded in mental fear of being annihilated completely at these critical times. And the stimulation of your lower energy vortices allows those who wish to control you a more or less guaranteed and predictable behavior that can be directed according to their specific intention in their last desperate push to hold on to control. The power that has ruled for so long has stimulated society across the world to new levels of hatred and rage. Race, gender, religion, age, money, all of these are the tools used to turn human beings against each other at this time. Thought's dark elemental entities have learned how to use these tools in order to spread their agendas. This is indeed the hour of your liberation, and the rulers of the old ways know, but they don't even know how to let go. There is no record of true social freedom in your collective consciousness. There is only the illusion of it. And you are rewriting that paradigm with the divine love element in your soul, climbing higher in the divine light consciousness. This new month will lead to the coming of more divine love light energies, also known to many of your kinds as the coming of Christ. The divine energies of Christ will come not in any physical vehicle, but to touch each who vibrate at that high frequency of divine love and light. The same Master Divine Light Grid Programmer, Christ Consciousness, that once inhabited the physical entity that had come to your planet known as Jeshua, will embody each and surround each with the loving energies of divine love and light elements. The Christ energy stems from a collective beyond the world of duality and arises from the so-called sixth density consciousness known by this instrument. Who is new to me? This means that it recognizes the opposites of divine love element and thought's dark web. Divine light and dark, giving and taking as the aspects of one and the same energy. Living from the reality of Master Light Grid Programmer, Christ Consciousness means that there is no struggle with anything. There is a complete acceptance of reality that surrounds you. Do not lose your faith in humanity. The antiquated model of civilization in perpetual struggle will soon be replaced with a new fraternity. To many of your kinds, it may appear that the end of a period is upon your kind, and you would be correct. That is the end of the cycle of transformation of thought's dark elementals, or the dark energies will be taken away from this planet soon as this planet fully enters into the next density consciousness, as known by this instrument as fourth density consciousness. Those who belong to the old third density consciousness will feel more struggle and fear and pressure in this new age of the coming of the fourth density consciousness of love and light, which will cause them to be taken away to another planet that resembles the third density consciousness. You will be a witness to humanity's reach beyond its limitations, dispelling your fears and despair, and guiding you to step courageously past the borders and walls of your mental, emotional, and physical containment. Then soon after you will take the cosmic ride through your sun's astral cord into the next dimension. To say that you have so much to look forward to is an understatement of unparalleled proportions. The new is breaking right now on the horizon, and to some it looks frightening, chaotic, and irresolute, while others can see the light of brilliant days ahead. Now let us answer the second query placed by this instrument, that of the subdensities or octaves of the first density consciousness. There are a total of 8 subdensities or octaves in this first density consciousness. Every spark of consciousness or soul goes through these 8 subdensities. In the first octave, the consciousness interacts in the form of the smallest known electrons and protons, learning lessons of interacting as a small unit of light. Then, after millions of years, it begins to start integrating with other electrons and protons, creating the so-called atoms and molecules in the second octave of the first density, creating a collection of basic elements. This then leads the consciousness to move further into the third octave after some period of time-space. The third octave leads to the creation of similar elements that lead to the formation of wind, wherein the consciousness moves around and observes the world, however without any self-awareness of any kind. It just exists. Then after some time of around million years, it leads the consciousness to enter the fourth octave. That is represented by fire, which is created due to interaction of atoms and molecules and wind from the previous octave. The primary lesson at this octave is to learn to interact with 2 elemental groups. After millions of years of this interaction, consciousness then leads to creation of elements known as water to your kinds in the fifth octave of this first density consciousness. The primary purpose of this octave being interaction and collision with other elements, giving much more experience collection for the consciousness. Then again, after some time-space, this consciousness enters into the sixth octave of the first density, wherein it takes on the form of a so-called stone, which is a static physical vehicle, with the primary lessons being that of group forming and capability of maintaining its shape due to more attraction between all its subparts, and consciousness capable of being able to hold separate forms in space-time. After this level comes the seventh octave of the first density, which can be equated to your soil. The primary experience that needs to be gathered at this level is to understand and be capable of entering into eighth sub-density octave, physical vehicles of the first density. The consciousness then, after gaining experiences at this level, enters into the final stage of eighth density octave of first density. That is a cross-through of physical vehicles from the second density, which means earlier first octave second densities, such as grass and small plants, fall on this octave of later first density. This is all the information this instrument can handle at this time-space period. Hence I, Metatron, leave you now in the divine love element of the divine grid programmer, and hoping you will turn to the great mountain of light, Kairon. Bye.